Hello everybody, my name is Cogline3639. Welcome back to another video. Today in this one I want to give you my thoughts on the new Gold Pride support. So I've been playing the Gold Pride deck for a while now, ever since it got released with the Punk deck as well. It's a very good, it's a decent deck, but I was hoping the support was going to be very good and launch it to where it's at. And today I want to give you my thoughts on the new support here. So we have Lithium video, or not Lithium, MST video here. So I'm kind of just going to be telling you my thoughts on the card. So we're going to start off with the Gold Pride rollerballer here. So it's a level 5 psychic monster with 1800 attack, 1600 defense. If your life points are lower, spell summon this card. Obviously all the Gold Pride monsters have the effect. And then during the main phase, you can fusion summon one Gold Pride fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field. Now this is it's decent. It's only decent because the fusion's pretty good. It's a level 5 psychic, which is very good for someone like into Synchro 8 plays and stuff like that. I was hoping it could be like a level 3 psychic instead, just so you can E-Telly it out or something like that, but I guess we couldn't get that good of a card. But it's still a decent card effect here, especially with all the other support. It makes it actually worth playing. Now let's actually talk about the fusion here. So Gold Pride Pinballer. It requires one Gold Pride rollerballer and a Gold Pride monster to go into. If this card is fusion summoned, you can equip face-up monster your opponent controls up to the number of fusion materials used. So if you're using at least 2, you will equip 2 monsters from their field to this card, which is very, very insane. It's a very good card effect for this card. And then if your life points are lower, it cannot be negated as well, which is also very insane. So even though I don't agree with them actually making a fusion, I feel like they should have kept with like the synchro stuffs and stuff like that. The fusion's actually pretty fucking insane. So if you go into like, let's say during your opponent's turn, you summon out Leon off of Gold Pride, start your engines, you summon out Leon, and then Leon effect to get back Rollerballer from your graveyard, then go into the fusion here to equip 2. That's just very, very insane. I feel like that's a very insane card effect to have here. Super, super good. And then in the end phase, it has the same effect as all the extra deck monsters do. We'll see if you use the top effect, you can return to the extra deck, special summon a rollerballer from your deck or graveyard, which is very, very good there, which can just make it where you can do it again on your turn. Very, very good card there. Now onto the XYZ here, a Gold Pride chariot carry, which requires 2 level 3 monsters to go into. Detach one material from this card, add a Gold Pride spell card from your deck to your hand. Then if your life points are lower than your opponent, send 1 Gold Pride monster from your deck to your graveyard. Now it's an alright effect. I think there's only really one spell card worth searching off this, and we'll get to that spell card in just 1 second. It's very decent. In the end phase, if you use the top effect, you summon Captain Curry, which is good, but since it summons in the end phase and the Captain Curry searches you the trap, you can't set the trap the same turn you use this effect, which is, I wish it didn't do that, but you know, all the extra deck monsters always trigger in the end phase anyway, so they had to kind of stick with that theme, so I kind of understand that. Again, it's decent. Is it worth playing? It depends on the variant of the deck you're playing, I think, but it's a very decent card for the archetype here. Now onto the spells. We're going to start off with Gold Pride that came out of nowhere. It's a quick play reborn, which is decent, but it also gives your opponent advantage as well. So it gets a special summon a Gold Pride monster from your hand or graveyard, which is good. This is searchable, so it's a reborn, so during your opponent's turn you can do stuff with it, but it gives your opponent advantage as well. Then your opponent can special summon a monster from their hand or graveyard to their field, but its effects are negated. Even though its effects are negated, it still gives them a monster that they can play with, unfortunately, right? So it's just, I don't know, I don't think it's that great of a card. I mean, maybe it's worth playing maybe one of it, depending on the variant you're playing, but I just don't think that's that great. Gives them your opponent a monster, which is not that great of an effect you don't want to do, but it's decent overall. The reborn is nice. It just depends on how much you want that reborn, if you want to give your opponent advantage. It is optional, but again, most likely your opponent will do it just because it's free advantage for them. Even though effects are negated, I just hate that it gives them a monster on field. Next spell here is Gold Pride Pedal to the Metal. Absolute garbage. This card is fucking terrible. Target a Gold Pride monster you control until the end phase. It gains 500 attack. It cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects, and it can't activate its effects. Why the fuck would you ever do that ever. This card is absolutely terrible. During the end phase of a face-up Gold Pride monster you control was destroyed by battle or card effect this turn, set this card from your graveyard. Whatever. This card is absolute garbage. I just don't see any point of playing this card just because you can't activate the monster's effect, which is, why would you ever want to do that? I don't know. This just doesn't seem that good to me, so I don't think anyone would be playing this card. Now on to the other spell card, Gold Pride Better Luck Next Time. Fucking insane. So good. When this card is activated, add a Gold Pride monster from your deck to your hand, and if you do, lose life points equal to its attack. Holy shit! It's a Rhoda. It's a Rhoda that loses life points. That's insane. That's so fucking good. Super insane. So good. You can search any gold. That's insane. And then if a face-up Gold Pride monster you control that was special summon from the extra deck returns to the extra deck, draw a card. Yes, that is so good. Super good. Absolute 3 of in any Gold Pride deck you're playing. It's searchable off Chariot carry here, which is absolutely insane. So good. So good. It's absolutely super good. Absolutely worth playing this card. Absolutely have to play this at 3. This card is insane. And now for the trap card here, Gold Pride, it's neck and neck. It's not that good. Just because Start Your Engines is just so much better than this, and if you're only going to get that one search off Captain Curry, you want to search Start Your Engines, not its neck and neck. If this card, so this card does target 1 Gold Pride monster you control or 1 Gold Pride in your graveyard, except for its neck and neck, return it to the hand. Whatever, that's like, nah, that's not that great. That's not that great of an effect. It can target 1 Gold Pride card in the graveyard, but the continuous spell card stays on the field, so you can't add this back unless your opponent destroys it somehow. I don't know. That doesn't seem like a top effect that's even worth playing. Its graveyard effect, however, is something to consider. You can banish this card and 1 Gold Pride monster from your graveyard. Spell summon 1 other Gold Pride monster from your extra deck that mentions the banished monster's name, which is good. That is something, at least. You know, if you banish something, if you banish Leon, you can summon Star Leon from the extra deck, which is super good. And that's really the only good target for this, because if you go banish the rollerballer, you can't get the fusion summon effect the same turn because it has to be fusion summoned, and the trap does not properly summon it out, so that doesn't get its effect. The XYZ doesn't do anything on summon or anything, so this doesn't really do anything. It doesn't summon with materials either, so this doesn't really do anything, so it's not really worth doing that. So the only good one off the graveyard effect is to summon Star Leon and banishing a Leon, which is decent, but there's really no way to get this card into graveyard. I immediately thought, oh, well, the XYZ can dump it, right? You would just search the spell and then dump this off the dump this off its second effect, right? No, you cannot. The dump has to be a Gold Pride monster, which is unfortunate. Like I don't know. If it was able to, if this card, this XYZ, was able to dump this trap, I feel like it would be insane. But it can't, so there's really no way for you to get this trap into graveyard unless you discard it somehow. So would you play this or search this over something like Start Your Engines? I don't think so. I think Start Your Engines is just a way better trap card that you would not want to play this. Even though its graveyard effect is decent, its top effect does literally nothing, so I don't think you would ever play this card. So overall, my thoughts on the new Gold Pride stuff. I think Rollerballer, the Fusion, and this Rhoda spell is probably the only playable cards out of this. The fourth one being like the Reborn, technically, depending on what you want to do. And then the XYZ is decent as well, but it just depends on the variant you're actually playing, if you want actually make this or not. The Reborn, again, I just don't like it, that it gives advantage, but the Fusion is super insane, so the Rollerballer is also good for that reason as well. And then this Rhoda spell is so insane. Exactly what the deck needed itself. I wish that it was a little better, right? I was hoping for something like a Synchro 11, because there's those weird things where you have to, Leon summon Nitro Head from graveyard, and you can't make anything off of that, because, I mean, there's no Gold Pride Synchro 11 to make off that. The fact that this is a level 5 kind of sucks, but it's alright since the Rhoda spell is there and it is searchable. So, I mean, overall, I think it's good. I think it's all right. I don't think it's that great. Again, if you're playing the punk version of the deck, this kind of switches up things, I guess. Like you absolutely play this Rhoda like at 3, no matter what version you're playing. But it just depends on, again, all depends on the variant of the deck you're gonna play. I'll probably have a video next week going over like going over a deck with these new cards and stuff like that. But you're gonna have to give me some time to test with these new cards. So yes, that was my thoughts on the new support. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.